Hey everyone, welcome back to COVID Conversations. Today we are going to continue on our journey of talking about our top 10 mind-body strategies for managing anxiety and coping with stress around COVID-19. So we're going to go ahead and dig right in. So number 7 of our top 10 are strategies is engage in physical activity. So obviously you can open any web page these days and basically hear that everybody should be exercising and moving their bodies more. And I think that where we might differ a little bit on this from sort of the traditional like hit the gym and burn it out perspective is that all movement matters. And so obviously for some people, jogging or elliptical or all those sorts of exercises that you can do in a gym are really great tools. But for other people, those either aren't accessible, aren't safe, or they have pain, or they have other issues. So for us, any movement that you can do that makes you feel like you are putting effort into taking care of and moving your body matters a lot in terms of reducing stress. So even if that's something as simple as, trying to do some stretches from your desk chair or your couch, or taking a pet for a walk, or going outside and just doing some deep breathing while you sort of walk around calmly. So there's all sorts of ways to do this. And what we want to do is actually disconnect exercise from weight and weight loss, because so much of the exercise talk is about losing weight or getting fit, getting abs, getting ripped, getting any of these things. And we put it in this because what we know is that exercise or physical activity is actually one of the best interventions for managing anxiety, stress, and mood. And people often find barriers to doing that if they are connecting it with weight. Like, what's the point of going for a walk if I'm only going to burn 40 calories? And then they don't move. But of course, if we can disconnect it from weight and say, I'm going to go for a walk because it's really important for my mental health, for my stress, for my mood, and for the relationships in my family, then maybe the barrier starts to come down a little bit. So even if you don't sort of feel like moving, remember that it's not about your body getting fit or thinner or anything like that. It really is about your mental health.
And like so many of these strategies, it ties into the others. So we know that people who get movement throughout the day often sleep better, and they find it easier to maintain a routine. So there's so many reasons to move around.
Right.
And speaking of moving, we're going to move on to our next one, which is practice gratitude.
That's funny.
So gratitude, gratitude has been researched really well. I think sometimes when we hear to keep a gratitude journal or practice gratitude, we think like, oh, that's a little too woo-woo for me. Like I don't think I want to do that. But the research stands on its own, and it really shows that when we practice gratitude regularly, and it doesn't even have to take very long, what it does is it makes us feel good in the moment, but more importantly, it starts to shift how we look at the world. So we have a programmed negativity bias that's programmed for protection. And so when we can do things like practice gratitude, we help to kind of shift that negativity bias so that we can see the world through a more realistic or maybe even a positive lens. Mm-hmm. And gratitude can look like a number of different things. So it can look like writing down 3 things that you like to do or that you're grateful for at the end of every day. It can be a discussion around your dinner table. It can be something that you do on your own. I'm going to pull out my little gratitude journal here. I keep it in my desk so that it's handy, and I write in it most every day, not every day, but most every day. And it's also fun to go back and look at the things that I've written, especially in times like this when we can feel very overwhelmed by stress and everything that's going on, lack of control. It's nice to look back and see that there are really tangible things that are happening in our life that are positive. Mm-hmm. So when you think about gratitude, I would encourage you to think about doing it in a way that resonates with you, and most importantly, doing it in a way that you're going to be able to consistently practice it. So that means some of the things that we know about establishing good habits can be applied here. If you decide to do it in a journal form, keeping that journal in a place where you'll see it can be easy, or do what we call habit stacking, which is use the gratitude journal when you're already doing something else. Like perhaps you do it before you brush your teeth in the morning. So you keep it, I don't know, near your toothbrush. Whatever it takes to make it really regular for you to do it is the best way to do it. Robin, do you have a gratitude practice?
I do. My journal's downstairs because I keep it in a little nook in my kitchen, actually, where we sort of gather as a family a lot. But I also write on sticky notes a fair amount. And so sometimes if I'm having a hard time, I might even literally take a moment and just jot it down right here next to my desk. And then to connect these two things, one of the things that I regularly do, I go for a walk almost every morning, and I make a very concerted effort to express gratitude, just in my thoughts about the fact that my body is strong and healthy enough to do that, that I get to be outside walking, because I have been in places in my life before where that wasn't an option. And I've had friends, family members, clients, everyone who has had either health conditions or other things that get in the way from them being able to access a walk for the stress reducing tendencies. And so I'm so connected to the fact that I'm so grateful for a body that can move, even if it doesn't burn a lot of calories, or even if it's not as fast as I would wish it to be, or I can't run, or any of those things. I'm really connected to that. And I hope that anyone who hears me today share that will maybe consider trying on that idea too, is just telling ourselves that we get the opportunity to move our bodies, and that is an opportunity that some people in the world don't have. So we can be grateful for that.
Yeah. So we would encourage you to just view these as an experiment. There are two more tools that you have in your toolbox. Maybe just pick one and try it out for a week and see how you feel.
Yeah, great. So I guess next session we will be wrapping up with number 9 and 10, right? And then
Yes.
we'll move on as well. And I think we will invite one of our colleagues on here too to maybe talk about the impact of COVID-19 as really a collective trauma that all of us are facing. And so we'll dive into a couple different topics after we finish up the top 10 tips. Take care.